Hi everybody, so today we are going to look at our Math 1 CFA review, and this is going to be the second to last one we have, and this is on systems of equations. So all these problems are going to have either two equations or two inequalities. So if we go ahead and start looking at number 1, we're just going to go through these, the first 5 in this video and then the second 5 in the next video like we always do. So number 1 says Sarah and Leo have after-school jobs. During week 1, let's change that. During week 1, Sarah, so we know Sarah, worked 7 hours, and Leo worked 6 hours. They earn a combined amount of $130. Okay, it says during week 2, Sarah works 5 hours, and Leo works 9 hours. They earned a combined amount of $142. So it says, which systems of equation can be used to determine S, the amount Sarah earns per hour, and L, the amount Leo earns per hour? All we have to do here is write our equations. We don't have to solve it. We don't need to plug it in Desmos. We just have to write it. And I kind of highlighted week 1, week 2 separately, so that tells us our equations. We know Sarah worked 7 hours. So I'm going to make Sarah is going to be S. Okay, makes sense. So Sarah, goodness grief, Sarah is 7S, Leo, L, 6. Let's look at the next week. Sarah worked 5 hours, and Leo worked 9. So let's write our equations. So if I have week 1, we know we have 7S plus L6 equals 130. I'm going to fix that. I don't like that. Plus L6. So week 2. We know Sarah worked 5, so that is 5S plus, we know Leo worked 9. Oops, I have these backwards. Oops, this should be 6L. That's okay. That's not a big deal. And then we would have 9L because he worked 9 hours that week, to a combined amount of $142. So now looking at our answer choices, all we need to do is find the answer choice that matches what we wrote. We have week 1 versus week 2. Well, A says 7S plus 5S. We don't want them together, so cancel that out. This says 7S plus 6S equals 142. That should be 130. Mark out B. This says 7S plus 6L equals 130. 5S plus 9L equals 42. That might be the answer. Then we have 6S plus 7L. That doesn't even make sense because it was from different weeks. So we can mark out that. We see C has to be our answer. So if we keep going, number 2, it says which system of equations is equivalent to the system shown below and shares the same solution. So equivalent means the same. The same. So what I'm going to do is just put these in Desmos. So, and see which one matches up. So we would have y equals 2x plus 5. There's one equation. 3x minus y equals 1. So we see there's on our Desmos screen. I know it's kind of small, but we have our 2 lines. Let's do this. Make it a left split. So we have our 2 lines there. So let's just go through each answer and see which one matches up. So if I'm going to plug in the first one, I'm going to go down to the line. Y equals 2x plus 5, okay? 3x minus y equals 1. So if I turn off the original lines, there's our new lines. I'm going to turn off the new lines and the originals. Do they match up? Do they give us the exact same lines? Yes, they do. So I'm going to go ahead and say A is my answer. And just to show you, I'm going to put in answer choice B. Y equals 2x plus 4, okay? And then 3x, let's change this a little bit. Do that to green, that to orange. 3x minus y equals 1. Okay, so we got a lot of lines on here, but we have 3 lines. This red line, or we want the red line, but the green and the orange, so we see the orange is the exact same as the blue line, but they don't cross up. They're not the exact same, so B is not going to be our answer. And you could graph C and D also, and you would see that they would not match up. So A has to be our answer here. Number 3, it says this shows the systems of equations, and we have y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3 and y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1. And it says which statement is true. It says when graphed, these lines are parallel. When graphed, these lines are perpendicular. When graphed, they intersect at the x-axis, or when graphed, they intersect, I should say, y-axis. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to plug these in Desmos and see what they look like, because we got to have a image for us to look at to know what these lines do. So plus 3, and then y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1. Okay, we may have to kind of zoom around. So if I zoom out, we can zoom out a lot, or we really shouldn't. But we see these two lines never, ever cross. And they run next to each other for forever and ever and ever. So that's going to mean, A, these lines are parallel. Well, I'll tell you a little secret. We didn't have to put this one in Desmos. If you look right here, they have the same slope, which that means they are parallel. So we didn't have to put it in Desmos, but we just knew to look at it. We could plug it in Desmos if we saw the Desmos, but if you want to be a little bit quicker, just look at the lines, and they have the same slope, which means they are going to be parallel. So on this one, number 4, it says a line passes through the points 2, 5, and 6, 3. Another line passes through the points 1, 4, and 7, 2. It says which ordered pair represents the point of intersection of the two lines. So we have to make these lines on Desmos. Well, we can make an equation of a line on Desmos if we hit the little plus sign, put in our table, and put in our points. So 2, 5, and 6, 3. Okay? Now I hope we remember what we need to put into Desmos, but I'll write it on here for us. Y1 squiggle mx1 plus b. So I'm going to go down here and put it in our Desmos. Y1, get our little squiggle, and we have mx1 plus b. So there's our first line, okay? So we see that our first line is y equals negative 0.5 x plus 6. Okay, we got to remember that. I'm going to go put in our information for the second line now. Okay, let's go over here. I'm going to put 1 and 4 and 7 and 2. Okay, do our y1 squiggly again. I don't know why I deleted that. I shouldn't have done that. mx1 plus b. So there's our information there. So we see y equals negative 0.03. That's going to be negative 1/3. And if we want, I can change this to a fraction, and it'd be a half. Plus, and then 4.3. What would that be? 4.3. I think that would be this. But, okay. So we have our line here, and we don't even need to put it back in, because Desmos gives us the line when we do the y1 squiggly. So I have this guy in. I'm just going to write 4/3 to make sure we're clear. And then I'm going to put the other equation in. Y equals negative 1 divided by 2. Oopsie. Divided by 2 x plus 6. And you really could just make 2 tables here and see how they intersect. We'd have to do 2 of the y1 squigglies, but they'd have to change a little bit. We see where they cross. They cross at 10, 1. So we see our answer here is going to be D, 10, 1. And then the last one that we're going to do here, number 5. It says the sum of two numbers is 30. The sum of the numbers is 3 times their difference. What is the two numbers? So let's look at this first sentence right here. I'm going to do this in teal, this blue color. The sum of the two numbers, so remember the two numbers are always going to be x and y. X will be number 1, y will be number 2. We don't know the numbers. That's why you just make them x and y. So sum of two numbers, that just means x plus y is 30. Sum means plus, is means equal. Let's look at the second sentence. This might be where a little bit of confusion comes in. So it says the sum of the numbers, so the sum of the numbers would be x plus y. Then it says is, that means our equals. Now I'm going to write this as it reads. 3 times, so we know we're going to have 3, times their difference. Difference means subtraction. And what are we subtracting? It says their, that means the x and the y. And now we have to talk about the times. Times means multiplication. We can show multiplication by putting parentheses. So really our second equation is x plus y equals 3 times x minus y. Now comes the easy part. We have our two equations. Let's just put them in Desmos. X plus y equals 30. And then x plus y equals 3 parentheses x minus y. That's the really good thing about Desmos. You don't even have to distribute. We can just put it in the same order that we get. So for our coordinate point, we get 20, 10. So the answer says, what is the smaller of the two numbers? So you might not read the question and say, oh look, there's a 20 right there. That's going to be my answer. But it says the smaller. Well, out of 20 and 10, 10 is smaller. So our answer here would be B. So make sure when you're doing this one, you fully read the question and see what it is asking of you. So there's 1 through 5. We're going to go through 6 through 10 in the next video. If you guys need any help, feel free to ask us and we can get back to you. Thank you.